Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Phoenix Raceway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network. Let's take a look at tonight's race details. 175 laps the race distance, 89-degree ambient temperature, a 6% humidity, nice and dry out here. Clear skies, 6-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp is 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a fuel load of 100% tonight. Unlimited tire sets available over the wall. No fast repairs, count them. 0 zip zillage. 3 attempts at the green-white checkered finish if so needed. Stage break tonight will be at lap 40, and that fuel window at full load of fuel at 60 to 75 laps. It's going to be kind of a ballpark there, but practice just about wrapped up. In fact, it is over here. We're going to jump right into qualifying. Looks like Derek Runge was actually the fastest driver in the practice session prior. Looks like Matt Nicholson will be the first driver to roll out of pit lane. Again, taking a look at those practice results. Well, we were going to try to take a look at the practice results, but it won't show. There we go. Derek Runge fastest, 26.600. Derek Welch, LZ Daly, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Thomas Pinnell. That was your top 5 in practice. .27.025, Nicholson's first lap puts him third quick as the 100 machine of Nick Hunt takes the top spot with an 891. Nicholson a 280, a little slower on his second lap. .26.927 for Will Hewitt, sits in the 5th position as Bobby Jr. goes pole. 26.756 for the number 25. Chris Klein on the speedway. He'll take the green flag. Real loose out of turn 2. We'll take a look at track temp here tonight. 92 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Klein might have scraped the wall there. We'll see this temperature drop as the sun sets here in Phoenix. Keep a close eye on it. We're going to keep the graphic up for now because as the temperature lowers, so do the lap times typically. Klein still in the gas. Bobby Jr. still fastest, 26.7. Klein across the stripe. 27.268 for Chris Klein. David Bradford in the Crown Apple machine. Bradford Aeroworks driver. Team owner. 27.003, lap 1. Lap 2 is a 7.86. Awful close. Third quick for the 13 to David Bradford. Rodney Roberts out on the speedway. .26.910 for Roberts. We'll stick with him. If he can pick up the pace here, he's got a shot. Derek Welch in the chat says he's got an EOL, so he can't wreck the entire field on lap 1. Last week's incident, the reference there, crashing in turn 2 to start the race. Tough night for Derek. He was fast in practice. We'll see if he's got anything for him. So 26.910, the lap of record for Rodney Roberts. P7. Still a bunch of drivers haven't locked in a time here. Frank Griffith, Keenan Kimber, James Benge, who was fastest in practice, Tom Pinnell, Mark Truxell, Steve Luttrell, Derek Runge, Derek Welch, Josh Ingram, and Tom Barish. New scenery update here from iRacing. Track looking good. The background looking good. Looks legit. That's going to do it for qualifying. So those drivers I rattled off at the end will start in order of their I rating. So with that, session of qualifying in the books, and we're going to get right after it here, getting into the race session here. We'll check it out. Take a look here at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 26.756 miles per hour, or seconds that is, it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. Outside pole, missed it only by 7 thousandths of a second. It's LZ Daly in the number 6. Row number 2, it's the 13 of David Bradford and A.J. Rogers. Row 3, it's old Vincent Short and Nick Hunt. Row 4, Rodney Roberts and Colt Ansley. Row number 5, it'll be Will Hewitt and Dominic Bettini. Starting 11th in the number 10, another Bradford Aeroworks driver, it's Matt Nicholson. Starting 12th, Will Jones. In the 13th spot, it's the number 8, Peyton Wagoner and Chris Klein to his right elbow. 15th starter, 71 of Alan DeFries. 16th is Derek Runge. Keep an eye on that number 99 tonight. Steve Luttrell will start 17th. 18th, Tom Pinnell. 19th starter, it's Keenan Kimber. 20th is Mark Truxell. Derek Welch, 21st. 22nd, James Benge in the number 32. Frank Griffith will roll 23rd. Tom Barish, 24th. Josh Ingram, number 56, will start shotgun on the field in the 25th position. It's your starting grid here from Phoenix Raceway. We'll be rolling here momentarily. Still waiting on Rodney Roberts to get to the grid, as well as Tom Barish. As soon as they can line up here, we should be able to get the pace car out there and get rolling. Got to make note that Steve Luttrell new to the series this week. And the field rolls away from pit lane. I'd say the shadows are getting long, but they've all but disappeared here as the sun getting lower and lower to the horizon. Let's look at the race details yet again here. Race distance 175 laps. Stage break at lap 40. 89-degree ambient temperature, 7% humidity under clear skies. A 6-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature cooling off as we expected, down to 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers on a full load of fuel gives them between 60 and 75 laps of fuel. Unlimited tires over the wall. No fast repairs, 0 zip, zillage, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish.
Green flag.
And there it is, green flag in the air. We're racing in the desert. Josh Ingram, the first lap, a problem here. Caution does not come out. He's trying to get the car righted here. Ingram down at the bottom of the racetrack. Not a great start for the 56. It was Derek Welch last week having a problem, and it's Ingram this week. Might be taking it to pit lane here, and it appears so. No caution yet. Lap 2 up on the board. Bobby Jr. leads Daly and Bradford. Rogers and Short, that's the top 5 as they come back through around the pit lane. Into turn 3. Again, this is the newer layout here. Again, we've been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years now in this setup with this open dog leg here at Phoenix. Bobby Jr. a quick lap at 26.99 the last time by, about a half a tenth quicker than second place Daly. Rodney Roberts low on the racetrack. Might have had a close call. Back up in the groove here. He's got Vincent Short all over the back bumper. That might have been just him dropping way down low in that dog leg. I didn't catch it there, but he seems to be okay. Roberts up 2 spots from the drop of the green flag. Up into the top 5 now for the first time. Will Hewitt in a battle for position with the 49 of Dominic Bettini. Bettini up top. Hewitt down low in the black and green Ford Mustang. I want to make note here, looking at the rundown here. In fact, I can show you guys. Look at the car logos on the timing tower on the left of your screen. Ford, Toyota, Ford, 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 Toyota. Not a single bow tie to be seen. Makes my heart hurt, guys. Chevrolet certainly not the car of choice in this series. A couple of drivers pancaking the wall off the corner there. It looks like Frank Griffith may have been one of them. Puff of smoke and some debris flying off the wall as Griffith got on the exit of the corner. Stephen Kimber there to the outside. Looks like a new scheme on the 65 this week. Back up front, still the same leader, Bobby Hamilton Jr., about a 3/4 second advantage back to the new second place running machine. That's David Bradford in the number 13. LZ Daly started in the second spot, starting to drop back just a little bit. AJ Rogers, hot on the trail. Rogers really trying to get after that third spot. Continue to watch this fight. Rodney Roberts back in the mix here. He's trying to move his way forward as well. I think the 57 understands that. That's why he wants to go. We got trouble. Dominic Bettini. Somebody was in trouble. The 100, Nick Hunt, facing the wrong way. So first caution of the night, 11 laps in here at Phoenix. It's the John Deere number 100. Let's take a look. Hunt tried to get a better arc for the corner entry. Didn't realize Bettini was up at top of the racetrack. Gets right into the 49. Maybe didn't hear the spotter. Spotter maybe didn't call it out. Nevertheless, they come together there, corner entry. It looks like that was into turn 3. Puts us under caution the first time tonight. I want to watch this from the 8's perspective. Let's see if we can find an onboard for Peyton Wagoner here. Maybe want to do the same here with Bettini. I don't know. That was a pretty sudden movement there by Hunt. I'm wondering if maybe he had a problem with the wheelbase. Nevertheless, a few drivers have made it to pit lane here. Bettini, of course, Truxell topping off for fuel. Kimber taking tires. DeFries, Barish, a lot of these guys coming down pit lane. They're further in the back of the pack anyway, so it's really no harm in throwing some fresh rubber on. They've got unlimited sets to work with. Puts them a little off cycle. Well, we have the quick opportunity here. I want to go back to that lap 1 incident with Josh Ingram. Let's take a look. And this was the start of the race. Oh, Ingram just gets clipped. I don't know if that was Bettini or not. We'll have to see. You can recognize the paint scheme later on in this race to get a better idea here. Pace car getting ready to pull in, though. We get the restart in lap 14. Now, the field has to work all the way down this straightaway with the pace car in pit lane, so they still need to maintain that pace speed. They don't have a rabbit out in front to chase, so they got to go slow here, take care of it, be smart about the pace as they get back into the restart zone and fire off. Rather unique thing here at Phoenix Raceway, but we're in the restart zone, green in the air. We're back racing. Great jump for Hamilton Jr. Short side by side with Cole Ansley. Oh, a little bit of contact. No harm, no foul. A little bit of paint being traded between the 15 and the 86 as they continue to fight. Cole will tuck back in behind Short. Now, these two drivers, they've been racing against each other a long time. They originally raced together in the Superior Class Auto Racing League way back in, we're talking back in 2020, 5 years back now. I raced in it. I started broadcasting in it. So here we are again. But those two very familiar with each other and how one another races. Keep an eye on this battle. Bobby Jr. still out in front, a half second over Daly. Daly has jumped back up into that second spot. Colt scrapes the wall just a bit here at start-finish. View from Rattlesnake Hill. Still, this battle continues. This would be for the 7th spot. Vince has it for now. Moving up here, battle with David Bradford. Bradford and Rodney Roberts as Roberts goes all the way down to pit exit. Talk about shortcutting the dog leg. I don't know if it helped him all that much, but he's still side by side with Bradford. Battle for position again here. Derek Runge underneath Will Hewitt. That's for the 9th position. Hewitt still in that top 10, but he's losing some spots. Hewitt down 1 from the start of this one. Oh, the 10 out of shape off the 2, still trying to hang on to it. Matt Nicholson up the racetrack now. Oh, the 65 of Kimber gets underneath, trying to get squared. And there's the 07. That's Tom Pinnell. I think that was the driver that made contact with Ingram on the opening lap. See a little bit of right front damage on the 07 when he comes back around. Well, there's more of it now. Got the right side into the safer barrier on the exit of 2. Truck's a little slipping and sliding. Rodney Roberts and Bradford for 3rd, still fighting for that spot. to continue to run side by side. That's allowing, well, really nobody really getting away. I would have thought that Daly and Hamilton Jr. would have started to put some distance on these guys as they continue to battle. There must be enough grip on that racetrack. Again, Bradford keeps the car up top, whereas Roberts keeps jumping way down low in the dog leg, shortcutting it. It's working almost, but not quite clear. Roberts is clear now. If he wants to slide up, he could. Roberts to third, takes the spot. Lots of action here at Phoenix. This one already a good race. We're only 25 laps in. Bradford not giving up. Let's ride on board here with David and see how he's handling things in the cockpit of that number 13 as he rides in fourth behind Roberts. This now the driver's eye camera. Again, this built into the helmet of the driver. Pretty much seeing just exactly what they are seeing. Bradford losing some ground here. I don't know if he's just trying to save his stuff a little bit, but he runs down Roberts big time on corner entry, but Roberts back to the gas just a bit sooner out of two. Oh, trouble, Short and Peyton Wagoner come together. Wagoner around in the fence, this on entry to turn 3. Second caution of the night. And it looked to me, it could have been a whole lot worse than it was, but still not good for the 8 of Peyton Wagoner. Appears that maybe Mark Truxell may have crashed as well. We'll look at that first. That might have been the trigger here. So Truxell comes around. This is its start-finish. I don't think I have anything to do with it. Let's go look at the Short and Peyton Wagoner incident. Wagoner, a little tank slap. Gets the wall just a touch. Short tries to avoid, but then he gets clipped from behind the 99. I think that's Derek Runge. Colt Ansley's going to thread the needle here. He gets through. There you have it. David Bradford maybe with an issue here, leaving pit lane very slow. Maybe an in-car adjustment for the 13 to David Bradford, trying to set something differently for him. Remember, this is an open setup league, so they have the opportunity to make changes on these pit stops, whether it's tire pressures or wedge, whatever you want to call it. You've got the ability to make some changes to get the car driving a little bit better for you. With that, though, Frank Griffith has stayed out on the racetrack. He's not made any pit stops at all at this point. 31 laps in, we've had 2 cautions. I hate to say it, but I'm being willing to bet that Frank is going to get chewed up in a hurry here, even though we've only got a limited amount of laps on these tires. I know he's really gained a ton of track position as he started 23rd as we get ready for the restart. does appear that Derek Runge has gone to the tail here. I don't know if that's self-inflicted or if that's going to be a penalty due to the incident. I think that was kind of just a racing deal there with those guys, but nevertheless.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Oh, trouble, Kimber in the wall.
Caution, caution. How you doing in there, kids?
Bit of a melee here on the exit of turn 2. Alan DeFries, Derek Runge. Hunt still getting caught up in the field. He's in it. Tom Barish is in it. Ingram is in it. Cautions breed cautions, folks, and that's just example number 1. It appeared that this kind of kicked off. It looked like the 65 was the first car to really get crossed up. See if we can catch this. Oh, Vincent Short is really checked up here. Oh, Short got loose. Chain reaction after that. And they're about 4 wide. Watch the 15 here. 4 wide for a moment. So we work caution number 3 here. 34 laps in. Bobby Jr. back out front. Griffith lost the race lead, but still runs second, still stays on the racetrack. About to get the one to go here. Pace car going to cross the line. Their lights are off. Pace car heads to pit lane.
Green flag.
There it is, green back in the air. Bobby on the throttle. He'll get away. Oh, trouble again. Chris Klein involved in this one. Derek Runge as well. And we stay green. This all happening in low on the racetrack. Not directly in traffic, so we don't catch a yellow on this. That's going to be detrimental to those guys. And now we got trouble. Colt Ansley in the wall. Man, we got chaos ensuing here at Phoenix right now. So we'll go back and watch the first incident. Again, we did not catch a caution for this. It was the Colt Ansley problem right after. So Runge went to the bottom, and coming back up, just gets into the left rear of Chris Klein. That's a big hit for the 51. That may be all she wrote for Klein tonight. And then Cole Danzig just a moment later. Trying to squeeze off the 9 of Roberts. Roberts gets into the back of the 86, sends Colt up the track into the fence. See Colt Hill cheat down just a little bit. Then on the brakes, Roberts gets in there a little deep, makes some contact, and up the track he goes. So pit stops yet again. Derek Welch in the number 1. So working caution number 4. Let's take a look at the running order here after pit stop. Some guys opting to stay out again. Just a couple of them. Peyton Wagoner, Alan DeFries trying to pick up some track position, knowing we could get another caution here soon. Bobby Jr. will be back out there in the number 25. He'll restart 3rd. He did take 4 tires. Elsie Daly, Frank Griffith, Will Hewitt, Dominic Bettini, Stephen Luttrell, Tom Pinnell, Matt Nicholson, the top 10. Sky's getting a little darker here in Phoenix, not because of weather, just because the sun continues to set. Musco lighting system now blanketing the racetrack. Lap 40, we'll get the restart. Pace cars in. Again, we're still got to go down this back straightaway.
Green flag, green flag.
Green back in the air. Oh, we got trouble again. Nicholson in the fence.
There will be a caution.
Caution out again, and Derek Welch getting caught up in this also. Maybe a different issue. We'll check on DW here in a minute. Nicholson looked like pretty hard impact. Mark Truxell doing his best Casper impression. He just apparates right through the 10. To back this up and get a better view of what really happened here with Nicholson. Driver is loose, trying to save it out in front, checked up the field. This would happen with Short. And Derek Welch, big time damage for both of those drivers. Getting to the point where you're going to wonder if anybody's going to finish this race. So Nicholson, his night likely all but over. Front end damage pretty severe on the front end of that 10. Short back in the pits. Welch is going to make it back out. Get no fast repairs in this series. The car looks pretty good considering. So top 5 as we get ready for the green flag to come back out will be Peyton Wagoner, Bobby Jr., Frank Griffith, Alan DeFries, and Thomas Pinnell. Now, Wagoner stayed out during this caution, it looks like, or at least the last one. 4-lap older tires than Bobby Hamilton Jr., but really not a whole lot of green flag racing on those tires. They'll be relatively evenly matched as we go back to green.
Green flag.
There it is, green back in the air. Little congestion here for the backside of the top 5. Everybody gets squared away. Now a battle with Alan DeFries and Frank Griffith. They're side by side, this for 3rd. Griffith's got it for now. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the race lead. Bobby Jr. working around the outside of Peyton Wagoner. Off at turn 2, scrapes the wall just a touch. Gets the spot nonetheless. Wagoner going to drive to the bottom, but not enough to get to the inside of the 25. So Bobby Hamilton Jr. back out front here, coming to lap 46. Last lap for Bobby was his fastest, 26.87. Third place on back. We'll watch a battle here from 4th. DeFries and Hewitt side by side. Hewitt the number 33. Derek Runge in the 8th position. He's had his share of woes tonight already, but still a fast race car underneath him. As he runs in the 7th position, just a nose ahead of Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell scrapes the wall. Oh, Luttrell real loose, and the 49 of Bettini goes
Yellow's
around.
out. Can you see the pit sign now, or is it get more acclimated to it, or is it still difficult?
Got it straightened out before it got into the fence there, but Bettini brings us under the caution again now for the 6th time. Looked like Luttrell was pretty loose there at the same time. I don't know if they made contact. We'll have to take a look at it to be sure. Oh yeah, definitely some contact. So the field's going to come down and pit again. Tires are important. Maybe it's just fuel. We'll take a look here. Let's see what Bobby Jr. does on his pit stop. Right side tire change for the 25, likely to be a 4-tire stop for Bobby Hamilton Jr. Now Keenan Kimber, Will Jones, A.J. Rogers, and Steve Luttrell. Those drivers have stayed out. Bobby's down and away. Looks like he'll be the first off of pit lane. So you may have noticed, hey, when was the stage? We talked about it in the open. Would have been at lap 40, but a caution I think we had about lap 37. I think they just counted that as the stage. No sense in running a lap and throwing the yellow again. So our front row as we get ready for the restart, it's going to be Keenan Kimber and Will Jones. Then the 57 A.J. Rogers. Then Bobby Jr. in fourth with a fresh set of tires. And Will Hewitt in fifth.
Green.
Green back in the air. Bobby Jr., Will Jones, 2 and 3. Now Bobby Jr. looking for the race lead, and he's got it, but can he get clear? Kimber up the racetrack, and Bobby continues to stay out in front here. He's just got a fast race car here tonight. Kimber trying to battle back, though, but he's opened up the door for the 07. Tom Pinnell. Will Jones back to the fifth position now, sliding back a little bit. Was battling with Bobby Jr. for a little bit, then Bobby took the top spot. Jones went backwards. Robbie Roberts, man, the way he cuts that dog leg, it almost seems like an accident. Roberts now up to fourth if he can get clear of Kimber. Does so with ease. Out of turn number 2. Now out front, Bobby Jr. with some company as Tom Pinnell's right there, half a car length off the back bumper. Meanwhile, I think Derek Welch had another incident out on the track. Back in the 20th spot. We'll see if we can catch what happened here to the 1. The 6 just drives in the back of Derek, spins him around, no caution. Meanwhile, out front, change for the race lead. Pinnell goes to the point. Let's take a look at the pass for the lead just a moment ago. Pinnell had the run, jumps to the inside, down the backstretch, and takes the spot into 3. Bobby just lets him go here. Not worth fighting too hard for it this early on. And just like that, but Pinnell must have had a problem. He's back into the 4th spot now. Bobby Jr. back out in front. Let's see if we can find that one. Just a moment ago. Pinnell just wanted the lap. Or did he have a problem? At first, I was thinking he was just giving the spot back to Bobby Hamilton Jr. as if Bobby let him lead that lap for the points. But if he was checking up for that, he lost 3 spots out of that deal. So back to the point. Bobby Hamilton Jr. Now it's Will Hewitt in second. Rodney Roberts, Pinnell, and Bettini the top 5. Rodney Roberts working on Pinnell. Right now, the top 5 drivers all on the same tire strategy, making a pit stop here at lap 49. A.J. Rogers in P6. His last stop, lap 41. Some damage repair for him. Derek Runge in the 99 trying to make his way forward. Gets the spot from Peyton Wagoner. Move the 99 up to P7. It does appear that things have calmed down a touch. A couple of small battles out on the racetrack, this being one of them. Keenan Kimber and LZ Daly. LZ dropping it way down, shortcutting the dog leg as well. Taking a look further down the line here, top 15. Cole Ansley in that 15th spot, working on the back of the 32 of James Benge. Damage not appearing to hurt the 86 too terribly much. Mark Truxell and Steve Luttrell battling for position. This for the 16th spot. And in behind them, David Bradford. Bradford trying to work his way back up through.
yellow.
And Vincent Short in trouble.
So what you got going on out there, bud?
Been a tough night for the 15. This is probably the third caution he's been involved with this evening. Definitely some front end damage on the 15. He's trying to get that thing to roll, and it just doesn't want to cooperate. See, left front barely making contact with the ground, if at all. So whatever he hit it hard. And he's in the fence again, and there it goes. The left front definitely broken now. Little too much toe. So caution number 7 for Vincent Short. Oh, Rodney Roberts. Let's back this up. Let's back it up further. Yeah, Roberts had a huge run. They make some contact there, and it upsets the car for the 15. Make some more contact. I don't know. Unless there's a score to settle there, if I'm the 9, you got to check up before making the initial contact, at least if you're not square. He's just offset to the right, peeking out, so that's going to get the 15 a little bit sideways, which is going to break his momentum and pace even further, and then the 9 drives into the back of him a second time, and really that's all she wrote. So let's watch from the onboard here. Checked up a little bit. Not enough to stay off him. Well, we're ready for another restart. More pit stops completed. 25 and the 33 completing a pit stop here. They both take tires again. See the front row, the restart here. I think Will Hewitt may be the leader. I'm not sure if it was an option for Bobby to take the outside on the restart, but either way, front row, the 33, the 25, Will Hewitt and Bobby Hamilton Jr. are ready for the restart yet again here at Phoenix.
Green flag. Caution.
And we got trouble again.
Man, tell me what you got.
Not sure who it involves. There we go. AJ Rogers. Not much of an incident. Turned about all the way sideways and straightened it back out, but he was off the pace enough with traffic coming that the officials warranted a caution, so there we go. Yellow yet again here at Phoenix Raceway now for the 8th time, and we're still shy of halfway. A couple of takers on pit lane. David Bradford, one of them. little bit of front end damage you see there on the 13. The hood pushed up just a touch on the front end of that Camry. David probably going to try and fix more of that. Closer you can get that thing to straight, the better it's going to be. David's going to spend some time there, again, trying to get this thing fixed. There are your top two. Will Hewitt, the leader. Bobby Jr., second. Dominic Bettini runs third. Rodney Roberts, Peyton Wagoner, the top five. We are ready for the restart here. Pace car is in.
Green, green, green.
Out to the early lead now. Side-by-side battle for a second. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Dominic Bettini side-by-side. Out of turn two. Bettini's going to slot back in behind the 25. Behind them, Peyton Wagoner on the bottom and Rodney Roberts on the high lane. This becoming a back-and-forth battle for the fifth spot as Derek Runge back in the picture. Again, he was fast in practice. He's had his share of incidents out on the track here tonight, but he's back in action here in the lead lap in the top 10. Roberts, with just an inch to spare, crosses over to get underneath the 8. Move Roberts into the fourth spot. Wagoner battling back on the outside, though, not willing to let the 9 slot back in front of him as Hunt goes up the racetrack. And Derek Runge going to follow through, clear of Peyton Wagoner, so Runge now into the top 5 from a 16th starting position. Back out front, battle for the lead. Bobby Jr. taking a look to the inside on Will Hewitt. Down the backstretch, he'll tuck back in behind. Couple of drivers scraping that wall off of turn number 2, and David Bradford is around.
Caution, caution.
Oh, Bradford
Man, tell me
up the
what you got.
racetrack. Got to look at the relative as Hunt gets into him. Big impact for Hunt and Bradford. Bradford was seemingly going to be okay until he backs up the racetrack with the 100 John Deere machine still coming through with a head of steam. That might be all she wrote for David Bradford here. Let's take a look at this. Bradford was battling with Cole Ansley. And he just loses it, comes around. Something you don't see very often with David Bradford. And then backs up the track, and Hunt with nowhere else to go. I want to listen to the in-car here. Nick really wasn't moving all that quick, but gets around the corner. All of a sudden, David's there coming up the track. So more pit stops. Bobby Jr. going to take 4 tires and fuel. Majority of the field down. LZ Daly, Rogers, Hewitt, Runge, the whole gang. Hewitt's going to win the race off the pit road. But Griffith, just as he did earlier, stays out on the racetrack to gain some track position. Will inherit the race lead. Pace car in the pit lane as the field just getting smaller and smaller. It's been a race of attrition here tonight. Handful of drivers already out of this one.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Three wide. Nope, 3 wide for the second row, though. Roberts to the inside. Runge charging up through the field. Battle for the race lead. Griffith on the bottom. Bobby Jr. up top. Griffith's got to check up. So Bobby back to the point here. Now it's Runge, Roberts, Griffith, Hewitt. We got Zach Millett in the chat. Says IMSA at the Glen is this week. Is a week away. I don't know. I'll be there in 5 days. 4 days.
Yellow's out.
And yellow again.
Can you see the pit sign now, Jersey?
Tom Pinnell having a moment out of turn number 2 into the wall. So 10th caution here just past halfway here from Phoenix Raceway. Let's take a look what happened to the 07. Did he have any help? He's got the left sides on the flat of the racetrack and the rest of the race car up in the banking. Little over rotation there. The 07 gets the barrels just a touch, straightens back out, heads out on the racetrack. But caution nonetheless for the 10th time. Speaking of the IMSA race at Watkins Glen, the 6 Hours of the Glen, the real-life version, coming up next weekend. With all that said, ProSim Racing Alliance Sunday night Open ARCA Series will be off. No race next Sunday. So tune in 2 weeks, June the 29th, Nashville Super Speedway for 115 laps. And then we're going to take another break for the 4th of July holiday, and then we'll be back on the 13th at Lime Rock Park. Going road course racing. So 92 laps in, we'll get the restart next time by, lap 93. And we're going to jump to a track limits side-by-side break. Once we get a lap of green in, we'll step aside, get that one break out of the way, and then we will be back all the way to the checkered flag. $19 cars still in this one. 17 of them still on the lead lap.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Bobby Jr. on the throttle. He'll get away real easy. Car length and a half, maybe 2 back to the 99. And then the 9 of Roberts. Roberts shoots the dog leg to the bottom. Closes the door. Big time crossover for Bobby Jr. Bobby might have a problem. He is down the low side of the racetrack. Might be coming to pit lane. I don't know if this is a restart violation for the 25 or what have you, but nevertheless, just after the green comes out, race leader Bobby Hamilton Jr. jumping to pit lane. Derek Runge will now take over the top spot. So Runge now with the lead. Second place, Rodney Roberts, Will Hewitt third, Wagoner and Bettini fourth and fifth. We got Zach Millett in the chat, says went too early. I don't know if he's got an official line into the series on that, but that would be my guess. Bobby Jr. He's back out on the racetrack here. It was a short stop. Maybe a stop and go for the 25. Bobby now shown in 17th. 1 lap down. Again, with the cautions we've had in the first half of this race, his race is not over. He can get back on the lead lap and still be in contention. Be curious to see if the 25 can make up that deficit. He was dominant in the first half of this thing, but as we are past halfway, lap 97, about 8 laps past halfway, we're going to step aside here, going to track limits, side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Phoenix Raceway, lap 105. Derek Runge continues to lead, putting some distance on the 9 of Roberts. Meanwhile, Bobby Hamilton Jr. back out on the racetrack again here, but it appears he made another pit stop. So he's now 2 laps down. Still, I would not put it past him there with the cautions we had early on. If that trend continues, he's still capable of getting those laps back. Well, Frank Griffith's going to come to pit lane. Maybe just a pass-through for Frank Griffith. Not sure what's triggered that one. Griffith now will be back in the 18th spot. Runge still out in front. Roberts second. That gap getting a little bit wider every single lap. Runge about a half-tenth quicker than Roberts the last time by. Oh, a couple of cars in the wall. Continuing on, AJ Rogers in the 57 appeared to be one of them. Derek Welch back in the 9th spot, not out of this one yet either. Welch has had an interesting evening, started at the back. Bettini a little loose on the exit of turn number 2, keeps it straight down the back. Rogers a little too hard on the brakes there. Wanted to come around and opened up the door for the 6. They're 3 wide. Daly backs out of it. And to the inside, Derek Welch again challenging. This for the 7th spot. Oh, real loose on entry for Derek, saves it. Oh, Kenny Kimber, real loose out of 2. Straightens it back out. Steve Luttrell now to the outside. Kimber having a moment just about a half lap ago. Welch now back to the inside on AJ Rogers, trying to pick up that 7th position. And Welch real loose off of 2. Dirt tracks it a bit, saves it. He'll lose some ground. We'll go on board now with Derek Welch. We'll see if he's having some problems hanging onto that race car. Seemed that Derek just might have been pushing a little bit too hard, trying to get that spot from A.J. Rogers. Now Will Hewitt and Peyton Wagoner battle. Hewitt in the 33. Derek Runge starting to run away from the field here. 1.8 plus seconds back to Rodney Roberts. Field pretty well settled out here. Single file for the most part, up and down the lead lap cars. Starting to get a little deep into the run here. Last pit stops for a lot of these guys were around the lap 85, lap 90 mark, mostly lap 85. So doing some math there. Around the lap, next 20 or 30 laps, we'll start to see some pit stops if we stay green the whole time. Battle for 10th. Elsie Daly working to the outside. The 36 of Luttrell. Luttrell in that 36, still working the bottom side of the racetrack, doing a good job holding off the 6 of Elsie. Meanwhile, Josh Ingram hits pit lane. I don't know if this is scheduled or not. I'll say this, we're within the point here where these drivers can start to make those pit stops and make it to the end on fuel. I think everybody just might be a little bit gun shy based on the cautions we had in the first half of this race. They don't want to pit now and then get trapped. Meanwhile, leader Derek Runge out to 2.4 seconds over Roberts. Elsie Daly takes the 10th spot from Luttrell. Up into the top 10 now. This is about the 8th position where Keenan Kimber runs. A.J. Rogers battling with him right now for that spot. Now Rogers focuses sights on the 49 of Dominic Bettini. That would be for P6. Rogers held up just a bit here by Bettini. It's allowed Kimber and Welch both to close in the gap. So this has become a 4-car battle for position. On board with Rogers. Kimber gets to the inside. So Rogers loses a spot here to Keenan Kimber. And Will Hewitt to the bottom of the racetrack as he'll come to pit lane. He knows the window is open. Might as well come down, take a chance. So Will Hewitt on pit lane, likely his final stop of the night. Hewitt in the pit box. Right side tires going on. Sunoco Race Fuel, first can going in. Probably do not need a second can in full, but 4 tires for sure. Just enough to make it to the end here as you're well within the fuel window. Drops the jack. Will Hewitt down and away. 15.12 seconds in the pits for Will Hewitt. So who else will that drag down? Because Hewitt out there on fresh tires, he's going to gain some track position on those guys still on the old rubber. '99 really stretching his legs now. 3.2 seconds over Rodney Roberts. Thomas Pinnell in third now, challenging Roberts for that spot. Little connection issue for the 07 here and there. They got to be careful there. Roberts really needs to be paying attention to that. Pinnell right there. Might have made a little bit of contact with the backside of the 9. Roberts not shortcutting the dogleg as aggressively as we saw earlier on. Now up the racetrack. Pinnell will get to the inside. Meanwhile, as we watch this battle, Keenan Kimber has gotten clear of Dominic Bettini for P5. Roberts swatting flies in the cockpit of the 9 as he's trying to stay out in front of Thomas Pinnell. Pushing the 9 through the corner. Still watching this fight. Pinnell just cannot find a way to get around and get clear Rodney Roberts, and hopefully the frustration doesn't get to him. They're side by side up the racetrack. Might have traded a little bit of paint in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Now Pinnell tucks back in. Pushing the 9 again, and around he goes. They both gonna lose it and up the racetrack.
Yellow.
Roberts is broadside in the middle of the restart zone. The caution is on the speedway. Thomas Pinnell lost the patience, decided, you know what? If I can't get around you, I'm going to go through you. So caution on the speedway for the 11th time. We made it quite a ways. And I think this will put Hewitt a lap down, but I think he'll be in a lucky dog position, though he's still going to probably want to take tires now that the rest of these guys are going to do the same. All right, let's Let's unpack this one here, see what happened. All right, so it's Rodney Roberts in the 9, the 07 of Tom Pennell behind. He'll drive it in deep. He's going to make contact with the 9 on entry, and he's just not going to lift. Hard to keep it straight when the back tires are off the ground. So Roberts tried to correct, and it ends up going up the racetrack. He's lucky to keep it out of the fence. Pennell, however, he gets a little crossed up too, and he'll make some contact with the inside wall. So through that exchange, Runge's 3-second advantage out the window. Though he was able to make his last pit stop under yellow flag conditions, he'll still rejoin the race here as the leader. Pennell will be second. Peyton Wagoner, Keenan Kimber, Dominic Bettini, the top 5. Then it's Derek Welch, Chelsea Daly, A.J. Rogers, Stephen Luttrell, James Benge, and Mark Truxell in 11th. So the pace car has made the trip to pit lane. We're ready for the restart.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Runge gets away, no problem. The battle's on for second. Wagoner jumps up to P2. Here gets clear of Pennell. Pennell up the racetrack, still running in the tire tracks. Now Bettini into the mix. He'll take a move to the inside on the 07 as well. Bettini trying to force it in. Into the wall. Pennell scrapes the right side and breaks his momentum, but we got trouble.
Caution.
Peyton Wagoner in trouble here just past start finish. Caution out again. And I think this is going to put, now, I was going to think it was going to put Bobby back on the lead lap here, but he's still down 2 laps. Let's see what happened here at the 8. He lose it all by himself? Looks like he did. A little too much throttle, a little too soon. Got very lucky not to get driven into broadside there. Still working caution here for the 12th time, lap 144. Expecting the 1 to go signal the next time by. Which should give us 30 laps to finish this one. So front row is going to be Derek Runge, Dominic Bettini. Then it's Keenan Kimber and Pinnell. Then Welch and Daly. Then Luttrell and Rogers, Ansley and Truxell to round out the top 10. Still showing 14 cars still on the lead lap. Peyton Wagoner, that last driver on the lead lap after spinning from the second position. Pace car has come to pit lane. We got to work the backstretch here before our restart.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Pinnell trying to jump to the inside. Got a good jump. Good reaction on the race leader. They're side by side. A little bit of contact. Pinnell gets away with it, but still charging down into the corner. One in behind now, Derek Runge. Now Pinnell's got a battle with Dominic Bettini, and they've got Keenan Kimber and Elsie Daly in behind. Tom Pinnell loose, and Derek Welch turned off at turn number 2. We got a big wreck on the backstretch.
Cool your stuff, clear your head.
That's going to do it here for Derek Welch, I think. He may end up just towing back. Let's get a look. Oh, just subtle contact from Cole Ansley. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is in it. Alan DeFries, Frank Griffith, Steve Luttrell. It's been a chaotic one here in the desert. Yeah, Zach Millett in the chat says net code on the 33 was rough. It's all right. Mark Truxell was able to drive completely through somebody tonight without taking any damage, so that was even worse. Lucky for Mark, but... All right, pace car is going to head to pit lane here. Again, into turn 2, the exit of turn 2, that's pit entry. Starting to look like a Busch Clash field now, the amount number of cars that have retired from this event. Front row is going to be Runge and Pinnell. Pinnell holding them right down, banging doors here in the middle of the corner. They're not even green flagged yet.
Green flag.
And there it is, green back in the air. Pinnell beats him to the line. 25 laps to go to settle it. LZ Daly working back towards the front. LZ started up near the front. Now he's there in the third spot. Runge up the racetrack. Daly down to the bottom, and looks like Tom Pinnell. We'll get it figured out. Restart violation for the 07. Kind of what we thought. Beat the leader to the line there, coming to green. So 07 and Tom Pinnell, his opportunity to get a win here tonight going out the window. We say it so much. Don't beat yourself. Pinnell has just done that. Penalty here late now with 23 laps to go. Pinnell in pit lane. Now back out front. It's Runge and Bettini, 1 and 2. Runge with about 4/10 on the 49. LZ Daly working back through. Oh, AJ Rogers dirt tracking it off of turn 2. Did a good job to hang on to it, but runs now in the tire tracks of Peyton Wagoner. Keenan Kimber closing fast. Now Wagoner took tires, looks like at lap 143. It's not a whole lot of time for the last guys that he's passing. Lap 138 with the last set of tires for everybody in front of him, but 5 laps is 5 laps. It's a little bit of an advantage. Wagoner going to try and march towards the front. Meanwhile, Kimber takes a peek to the inside on Rogers. Nothing doing there. The 65 will continue to run in the tire tracks in the 57. 20 laps to go here from Phoenix. Keenan Kimber losing connection for a moment. Still unable to get clear of AJ Rogers. Rogers still just outside the top 5. Peyton Wagoner in 5th with a little bit newer tires, trying to gain some ground. No story to tell out front. Derek Runge still with the lead, and that lead getting larger and larger. Almost a full second now back to Dominic Bettini. LZ Daly still runs 3rd. Roberts 4th. Wagoner 5th. No trouble. LZ Daly contact with Roberts. They go around, collects Keenan Kimber as well. We've got trouble. Rodney Roberts. Front end damage pretty heavy on the 9. Contact with LZ Daly. And for the 14th time, the caution is on the speedway here at Phoenix. Let's take a look at it. Watch the 9 and the 6. Daly just comes down the track. Roberts is really in no obligation to go any lower. It's a tricky part of the racetrack, as some guys will opt to go down low and shortcut that dog leg. Some guys will not, and in this case, Roberts did not. Whether it was intentional to keep the 6 up there or not, irrelevant. Again, it's not Rodney's responsibility to drop down low. It's the 6's job to make sure he's got room to turn in. Kimber, who has shortcut the dog leg, almost got through it, but the 9 started to come on down. He ends up collecting Rodney. So, interestingly enough, Pinnell went to the pits at lap 138 and took tires. Then he got a restart violation, so he had to serve the penalty. Was able to get back out without losing a lap, and now he's the race leader. Oh boy. A couple other guys pulling some strategy out of their back pocket. AJ Rogers made a pit stop here. I don't know for certain. This may have been a right side tire change only, or it could have just been fuel only, but I don't think anybody was in a position where fuel was even a question. So maybe right sides. AJ Rogers trying to get some track position out of the deal. Peyton Wagoner did the same thing. First driver on new tires after this pit stop. It's going to be the 99 of Derek Runge. This field is just getting smaller and smaller. We still got good racing left, though. Front row is going to be Pinnell and Rogers, but watch out for that 99 on fresh tires. Green flag in the air. Pinnell jumps it, gets going. Runge up to third. Wagoner up the racetrack. And Peyton, right side tires only. Pinnell didn't pit this time, but he's on the old set. Laps to go. Pinnell the leader. Wagoner, Runge, Bettini, Rogers the top 5. Pinnell slips up the track, opens the door for Peyton Wagoner. Wagoner to the race lead, trying to hold off Runge as well, while also trying to attack the 07. Runge got to the bottom of the racetrack, has an opening. 3 wide for the lead at Phoenix with 11 to go. Runge way down the bottom of the dogleg. He'll take the lead on the exit. So the 99 back to the point, new tires and all. Sayonara. Wagoner's going to drive it in deep. Might have made some contact with the 99, but they get away with it for now. And up the racetrack, more contact. So far, the right side tire change for Wagoner paying off. Runge really driving all he's got. Real loose off of turn 2. Dirt tracking it big time. Keeps it out of the wall. Wagoner just will not go away. Now Peyton's got to worry about Dominic Bettini. Bettini to the outside in the 49. This is exactly what Runge wants to see. And now we got a three-way battle for the second spot. Pinnell thought he was going to get to the inside of the 8. Thought better of it. Pounds the outside wall off a 2. Right side getting flat on the 07. Wagoner now no longer concerned with the race lead, trying to hang on to that second spot. Dominic Bettini with a charge. He made his pit stop lap 160, and he took 4 instead of 2. So he's got a little bit of an advantage in that back pocket. Top 5 single file for the time being. A little further back in 6 is Colt Ansley. Early on in this race, we thought Colt was going to be out of this thing, but he got the repairs made, kept working on it, has battled back. He's in position for a solid points night. Runge enjoying a little bit less than a 4/10 advantage over the 8. Five laps to go here from Phoenix.
Caution.
And the caution is out with 4 to go. I don't know what it's out for. I don't see any issue out there. Love to show you a replay, but I don't see anything on the track or even in the data that indicates why that caution would have come out. Nevertheless, it'll set us up, I think, here for a green-white checkered opportunity. Got Zach Millet in the chat. Old Barney making some side money tonight. Speaking of Barney, the flag man. Trying to make sure his prop bets are hitting tonight. On the 1 to go here. Pace car lights are off, so front row is going to be Runge and Wagoner, then Bettini and Pinnell, Rogers, Ansley. That's your first 3 rows as we get ready for the restart here. Pace car is in. Again, we still have to traverse the back straightaway here before we can get into the restart zone. Very unique layout here at Phoenix Raceway. That's just an interesting part of this, is that pit entry is actually in the exit of turn 2.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. 2 laps to go. Runge keeps it pinned down to the bottom of the racetrack. Wagoner up top but can't hang with the 99. Off of turn number 2, he'll settle in behind the 99. Side-by-side battle for third, Pinnell and Bettini. Wagoner jumps looking to the inside again, but not able to get there. White flag, final lap here from Phoenix. Runge trying to run for his life, though, as Wagoner got the tires cooled off during the caution. He's able to hang with him for the time being. Running out of time down the back straightaway. Runge with the lead. Wagoner second, Bettini third. Driving in deep now into turns 3 and 4. Out of the turn. Runge will win it here at Phoenix. Checkered flag. Wagoner finishes second, Bettini third. Runge trying to put on his best Zach Millett impersonation, but ends up in the wall. Doesn't matter, though. Race in the books. The 99 picks up the checkered flag. That'll do it for the celebration here at Start Finish. We're going to step aside, get our break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Phoenix Raceway, race 3 in the books of the ProSim Racing Alliance Open ARCA Series. Derek Runge will take the checkered flag, pull the driver, the number 99, up into the broadcast booth, and get a word with our race winner. Derek, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, Derek. Congratulations, man. 16th place starting position. Not really indicative of the pace that we saw in the race. Did you even make a qualifying attempt, or was there an alternate issue there?
I had a penalty from the week prior, so I didn't get a set of qualifying laps, so I just ran a practice qual lap right beforehand just to see where I stacked up, and it would have put it on pole, but I had to start in the back, so we started at the very rear.
Nevertheless, you started out at the back, drove it through the field, and once Bobby Hamilton Jr. had his issues, we were really hoping to see you guys fight it out, but it wasn't to be. You were pretty dominant here in the latter stages of this thing, had to work your way through some restarts and some cautions. What was the game plan coming into tonight, knowing that you had that penalty?
Big thing was just trying to stay clean, not get a whole lot of damage or anything. That didn't work out too well at the start. Driver made some errors, so I think I had to do that I think by the time I was up by Bobby, it was the 5th time I'd been up through the field. But yeah, I was really hoping to just kind of see where everything stacked up, and then with Bobby there, because I knew he was been up front most of the time, but I think he got a little on the gun a little soon and jumped the start, so.
Well, an impressive run for you tonight nonetheless. Of course, you pick up your first win on the season. We got an off week next week. 2 weeks, though, we're at Nashville Super Speedway. How do you prepare for the concrete track in Nashville?
Big thing, just the concrete, just making sure you bring your tires up to temp. I'm good, so it's gonna be a lot of practicing, seeing how we can get the pace to start with, and then how much you can back the pace off to, make sure the tires stay on it. So the concrete, depending on the temp of the race, it's gonna could fluctuate a lot as far as tire wear and handling. So.
All right, Derek. Well, congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I'd like to thank everybody at ProSim. I know it's been a little bit of an up and down to start the year, but we're kind of coming in. Tonight was a little rough, but we're kind of starting to work everything out. And then everybody at West Lenore Motorsports, Backwoods Bandits, Bobby and David and Frank for putting on all the leagues, and then you guys in the broadcast booth.
All right, Derek. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, sir.
It's Derek Runge, your race winner here tonight at Phoenix. Next, we're going to talk to the driver of the number 8, the Harbor Freight 8. That's Peyton Wagoner. We'll pull Peyton up into the broadcast booth, get a word with our runner-up finisher. Peyton, it's Steve with Track Limits. Do you got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
We're doing good, Peyton. Congratulations, man. A solid run here tonight. Second place, of course, to finish this one off here. 13th place was the starting position, so you had your work cut out for you, but you made it up there. A late race strategy gamble there. Was it fuel only? I didn't think anybody had a problem with fuel. Did you manage to bolt on a couple of tires at least?
I ended up taking 2 tires. I saved my right sides as much as I could and ended up taking just right sides only and a little bit of gas. I only had I think 2 laps maybe there to finish her off, so I didn't want to see another overtime.
Well, you got it done there, a second place finish. The question is, with just those right side tires, obviously that can change the handling characteristics of these race cars. How hard was it to drive, or was there much of an adjustment to make?
Not really. I changed a little bit on the springs and went up. It's hard enough to keep up with Derek. I was just trying to stay quick enough to be with him, and there on the short run it actually helped taking just right sides. That are in my mind. We'll just say I did.
Fair enough. 2 weeks. We got a week off next week, but then we're going to be Nashville Super Speedway. How do you prepare for the Super Speedway down in Nashville?
Lots and lots of practice. Want to put it as close to the pole as we can and stay there in the long run. Usually Nashville is a little harder on the tires, and that 1 and 2 is a little rough. You got to slow down a bunch, but I have a good group of guys with Keenan and Dominic and Derek and Rodney. They're all a good group of guys, and we all help out through the week building setups and preparing for the next.
Well, certainly an impressive run here tonight. Wish you the best of luck there in a couple of weeks. Who do you want to shout out to before we kick out of here?
I have to shout out to old Dominic and Keenan. They put it down tonight, helped me through the long run strategy. And Derek and Rodney. Rodney's always a good friend, and Derek the same way. Derek done an awesome performance tonight.
All right, Peyton. Well, congrats again, man. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck in Nashville.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Peyton Wagoner, your runner-up here at Phoenix Raceway. Next, we're going to talk to third place, the number 49 of Dominic Bettini out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll pull Dominic up into the booth and get a word with third place. Dominic, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Yes, sir. I heard you're loud and clear.
All right, Dominic, congratulations, man. A 10th place start here tonight. 3rd place finish. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, that was kind of chaotic, to be honest. I knew I had pace. I didn't qualify as well as I probably should have. I can't really set a flyer like that, so I was like, I'm just going to start bid pack and really just hoping I wasn't going to get wrecked again. Been having some pretty bad luck here getting involved in people's accidents, but I had speed. I felt like I was pretty good in the long run, and when track position came, it just it fired off really well at the front. So once I got up to the top 3, I just kind of hung it up there. That's kind of avoiding the chaos was the big name of the game here.
Well, you said it. Certainly a chaotic night as far as the cautions were concerned. A couple of late ones, of course. We went to an overtime, but lap 160, you buzzed it down pit lane, opted for 4 tires versus Peyton Wagoner going with right sides only. Did you really have the pace to get around him or just run out of time?
I felt like I was probably a little bit better on the long run. When I get behind him on the run before that, I just kind of burnt my stuff up trying to get around him. But no, he did really good. He had really good pace, and honestly, I was taking 4 because I was like, I'd rather have more grip than anyone else here. Being up here at this restart, and he did a great job at holding up there and got a P2. So hats off to Peyton, hats off to Derek for the win too. He deserved that. He passed about 80, 90 cars tonight, so good to see him. Good win.
Fun one to watch for sure. 2 weeks from now, though, we got a week off next Sunday, but we're going to be in Nashville in our next race 4 on the season. What kind of experience do you have at Nashville Super Speedway? Is it another one you can maybe park it in the top 3 or maybe even pick up a win?
Oh man, you just got me happy when you said Nashville. I was waiting for something I don't like, but I love Nashville. It's one of my favorite tracks. I feel like I run really well there. Really good at tire management, so that's, I think, going to be the name of the game with these cars. But yeah, I'm excited to take a week off and come back and hopefully get a win here.
Well, Nashville's race 4, but don't want to burst your bubble. Race 5's at Lime Rock, so I don't know how you feel about the road course.
I don't like it very much, but it's that's something I got to get better at, to be honest. I'm probably going to do a lot of practice there weeks up, because that's definitely a weak spot for me in my racing. But I'm not going to get better unless I practice, so gotta get to it.
Fair enough, Dominic. Congratulations again on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Anybody else you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shout out my teammates, Peyton and Keenan. Keenan got taken out, unfortunately. Shout out my friends, Rodney, Derek, Jason, and Aaron. Yeah, great. It was fun. I wish it wasn't a 2-hour race, but you know what? It was all right. I got a 3rd and can't complain. So.
Fair enough, Dominic. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in a couple of weeks.
You too. Take care.
Thanks. Dominic Bettini, your 3rd place finisher here at Phoenix Raceway. That's going to do it for the interview portion of the broadcast this evening. Let's take a look at our race results. We had some issues pulling that up earlier. Here we go. We're good. Derek Runge, Peyton Wagoner, Dominic Bettini. Those were your top 3 finishers. AJ Rogers finished in the 4th spot. Tom Pinnell, a chaotic night for him, but still held on there to stick it out for a P5. Cole Ansley, same situation. He had some struggles early on, but didn't quit. Stuck to it, finishes P6. Mark Truxell, a solid 7th. Josh Ingram was 8th. Will Hewitt 9th. LZ Daly finished in the 10th spot. Rodney Roberts was 11th. Frank Griffith 12th. Chris Klein was 13th. Alan DeFries finished in the 14th position. Keenan Kimber was 15th. 16th place, James Benge. Steve Luttrell was 17th. Derek Welch finished in the 18th spot. Bobby Hamilton Jr. was a problem after the restart. Got dinged for starting early. His night ended a little bit early here. He'll finish 19th, 31 laps down. David Bradford also having a problem all on his own. He crashed out here. He'll finish 20th. 21st was the 100 machine of Nick Hunt. Will Jones was 22nd. 23rd, Vincent Short. Matt Nicholson was 24th. And last but not least was the 055 of Tom Barish. Those are your race results here from Phoenix Raceway. That's going to do it for us here at Track Limits Network. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Those of you that watched, if you haven't already done so, hit the thumbs up, the like button, subscribe if you're not already. We do appreciate it. Again, we are off next Sunday, the 20th. I'll be out of town at Watkins Glen for the IMSA race. Series isn't racing here, so we'll be back 2 weeks from now, Nashville Super Speedway on Sunday. But the 21st, the IROC Challenge Series is back here on Track Limits. We'll be picking up a few races to close out their season and then picking them up to start their next. That'll be on Monday nights. Tuesdays are still the Num Thumbs Racing League. Wednesdays, the Vigilante Racing League. So we've got plenty of racing in store here going into the summer and then eventually into the fall. So stick to it here. If you're still watching or you're bored, you want to pick up a different race to watch, it doesn't have to be your home league. You can watch any of these races. So tune in, cheer us on, jump into stream chat, say hey, say hello, tell your friends, hit the like button, and subscribe. You know the deal. It's going to do it for us. Congratulations to Derek Runge picking up the win here at Phoenix Raceway. We'll see you guys all at the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.